it would just be like us having a conversation.
Yeah.
So, Maurice, talk to us about your love story because you are just a less than a couple weeks away from being married. Your love story with you and Blake. How did that start? How did that begin?
Yeah. It was not that interesting of a love story at the beginning. We actually met online. And we kind of talked for a few months online, and we eventually met up, and it just was truly like love at first sight on some level. It was a different feeling than I had felt before, a different energy that I had felt before, and we are we love the same things, and it just was exciting for me to be able to find someone who loved the same things, but we also are very complete opposites at the same time. So yeah, that's kind of how it all started, and our love grew quickly.
So, how long have you both been dating before you decided to get married? Because you got to tell me about the
Yeah.
proposal, right?
Yeah, the proposal was epic. I was completely caught off guard, but before that kind of surprise engagement, before that, a couple months or so, a few months before Blake proposed to me, we actually had bought our wedding rings. So we knew we wanted to get married, but I did not know that he was going to propose. He and my twin brother, Marcus, um, actually orchestrated this entire surprise engagement. So um, it was a Saturday afternoon. We're shopping around, doing stuff in Detroit, downtown, and we went to Belle Isle, and he told me that his friend was in town and we were going to have a late lunch with them. We are driving around Belle Isle. It's freezing cold. It's February 1st. And I'm like, what is going on? So we get out. He's like, let's take a picture at the fountain. I'm like, well, the fountain isn't on. And it's cold.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, whatever, let's do it. So we get out, and literally, I turn around, and he's like down on his knee. And and then I see like two people walking up, and as they get closer, I notice that they're my friends. And they had came all the way from Lansing, and one and my friend Amber is a photographer and videographer, and they were filming and recording the entire thing. And yeah, he asked me to marry him, and obviously I said yes.
And meanwhile, you had a
Uh,
ring for him, and you were going to
yeah,
propose at some
yeah.
point.
Well, we had bought rings together.
Okay.
So we had designed and purchased our rings already, but we just kind of thought at some point we would just kind of, propose to each other or
Yeah.
something, just something non-traditional.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he actually had gathered all my friends and family, his friends and family, and after the proposal, we went to one of our favorite restaurants in Detroit, and they were all there.
Wow.
And we had this beautiful, magical celebration of love um, and just had the greatest time. It was one of the most memorable and magical days that I've ever had.
Yeah.
So,
Talk to us about your journey in being a black gay man. Was there ever a coming out moment for you? Uh, your story about coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually didn't come out to, I feel like as gay men or gay women, we always have like a coming out period of on our own to ourselves and our friends and family. But um, so, sorry, I'm going to start over. I feel like we always have a coming out period for ourselves first. That happened in college at Michigan State. And I think in the back of my mind, I always knew that I was a little different, but the same. So, so yeah, and then I actually, when I met Blake, and a few months after that, that was when I first came out to my family. So it hasn't really been that long. It's only been maybe a couple of years, a little over a couple of years since I came out to my family. Um, it's been a little bit of a struggle. You know, I grew up in a very strict religious Baptist household, and religion and spirituality has always been close to me and still is. And I think that's what really has gotten me through all the ups and downs of life. And so I hold dear to my spirituality and my belief in God, and that God really does love everyone. There is no limit. The love that God has is different than the human love that we can only identify with. And so I look at that situation and I see opportunity for all of us to learn and grow, to look at things differently, not because we have to, but because really God tells us to look at it differently. And spirituality is still a part of my life, but also me and Blake's relationship. And so we hold that dear, and it keeps us together. And it through the trials and tribulations of life that we have had over the last 3 years that we've been together, you know, our faith has really kept us strong.
You know, you said you discovered for yourself personally who you were as far as being gay and coming out to yourself first while you were in college. But what was the time frame from discovering that yourself to telling your family or coming out to your family? What was that time frame like?
Yeah, it was several years. I'd say I came out first to myself and my friends in college back in 2002, 2003, and then recently, 2019, I came out to my family. So it was a good span of time. And I didn't not tell my parents because I was afraid or felt ashamed or embarrassed or anything. That wasn't the reason why I didn't tell them. I think it was really that I really just asked God to direct me. And I knew that in the time that it was supposed to happen, it would. And I knew that I was going to be strong enough, courageous enough, empathetic enough, and have the self-love that I needed in order to understand the perspective that they may come with. And so,
was any of it hard or difficult or emotional
Yeah, I mean, I think when the people you love the most, um, you feel rejection from, um, and that shift of an adjustment you have to make is really a challenge. I think at the end of the day, though, I have to understand that my journey is a journey. It is a process. And through that process, I can only be who I am. The me that I am is enough for not only me but everybody else, and I want people to be able to live their truth. I've found so many blessings that have come out of me coming out and telling my truth, even though it's been challenging for my family. um, there are other family that is created, other moms who have been moms to me, other dads who have been dads to me. Blake's family has been loving and accepting um, and supportive. And so that's been a blessing as well, to have my fiance's family welcome me. It was a funny story because um, just only a couple months into our relationship, I met his entire family because his youngest sister was getting married.
Wow.
And so he asked me to go to the wedding with him, and it was just the most exciting time. And I think that was the moment where I think he felt and I felt that we were meant to be.
There's love in the air.
Yeah.
Well, it is Pride Month, and certainly there's celebration and stories of people in the LGBT community who embrace and inspire each other and tell their stories, and really an uplifting moment for people. Talk to us about what Pride Month means to you, and where do you feel we are as a city, as a country, in being more open-minded to people in the LGBTQ community?
Yeah. I mean, Pride Month to me really means a lot of things, but I think the most important thing is really self reflection. You know, how am I showing up to the world, to my friends, to my family? Um, how can I help other people show up as their authentic and whole selves? Um, and that is by celebrating love, diversity, um, and just being who you are. There is so much love in our community, and I think Pride Month is a demonstration of that love, that can go beyond just looking at what I could, you know, piece together to kind of condemn you or make you look different than me. But really, at the end of the day, we are so much alike that you can't deny that we're so similar. We want the same things: love, family, um, having fun, enjoying life, seeing new things, meeting new people, thriving and surviving. And we owe it to ourselves as human beings to just love each other, no matter what. It's a tough task, but I feel honored to be a part of our LGBTQIA community, And I love that it's growing. I love that it's growing not in all different types of ways. Companies and businesses being supportive. You go downtown Detroit and you see the buildings lit up. You see the pride flags flying. And it has nothing to do with anything else but love, support, honoring those who have paved the way as well. You know, I mean, there's so many people who created a platform for us to be ourselves, put their lives, jobs, um, families on the line to be able to live their lives and live their truths and honor that which God gave them, which is themselves. I mean, I feel like this whole saying keeps coming up to me, um, and this quote or saying is, "Be you, they'll adjust," and it rings a bell with me for some reason because that is really if I could have a statement for my life and my coming out story, I think that's what it would be, is be me and they'll adjust, because it's really not about what someone thinks of you or thinks about you or their opinion on who you are, but it really is about what you think of yourself. And that self-love and connection with who you are spiritually, and just as a human being on this planet, we have the right to be here and have space here and have the rights equally as anyone else who is taking up space here as well.
And finally, I guess for me, I mean, meanwhile, you're planning a wedding.
That is
how's
true.
that like?
Man, it's been a lot to do. I mean, I never really, I always dreamed of, my wedding day. I think even as men, we dream of the same thing that women do, or, our heterosexual counterparts do.
Is it exciting?
Um, huh?
Is it exciting?
Yeah, very exciting. Having it at your home is a little bit more stressful, but it's just been a beautiful journey. Family, friends, loved ones, strangers, even celebrating with you and encouraging you and supporting you and having faith in you. It's been a beautiful journey. And our love story goes beyond the two of us, me and Blake. It is a love story of our families, our friends, our community here in Highland Park, and just I want people to know that you can have it all, and it's okay to have it all, and that is what God intended for us to do, is to have it all, and having faith that it will all work out in the end. But I'm excited to get married. I'm ready. It is like celebration time, and I'm so honored. And in a weird coincidence, we didn't even realize that the date of our wedding is the date of when that gay marriage was adopted into our country in 2015. And it's just even weird to think that only just, less than 5 years, less than 10 years ago, um, you know, we had the right to get married. And so I'm just excited. Everybody else is excited. You know, even with this pandemic we've been going through and now moving out of, I think people are just excited about having a celebration. And this is really one of the biggest celebrations that we've been able to be part of, and our friends and family have been able to be part of since the pandemic. So it's going to be a beautiful day. I can't wait, and I'm excited for the next phase of our love story. You know.
And an historic moment then, the historic moment coming up.
Yeah.
Maurice, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.